Welcome to a Community Partners interview where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Davy Au, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio. All abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Sharon Magor, the Marketing and Communications Manager for Reena. Reena is a nonprofit organization that promotes dignity, individuality, independence, personal growth, and community inclusion for people with diverse abilities within a framework of Jewish culture and values. Reena was established in 1973 by parents of children with developmental disabilities as a practical alternative to institutions. Since that time, Reena has grown to provide support for 1,000 individuals with developmental disabilities and their families. Reena offers a variety of services, including residential support, respite programs, counseling, therapy, and advocacy. These services are offered in 32 group homes and over 60 supported independent living apartments across the Greater Toronto Area. Thanks for joining us today, Sharon.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be on your show, and I appreciate being able to share some stories and comments about Reena. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure. To that end, why don't we begin by having you tell us and our listeners a little bit more about yourself and what inspired you to work with Reena and with individuals with disabilities as a whole.
Okay, I am a marketing and communications professional. Have been doing so for the last 30 years. I have worked with different non-for-profit agencies, and before joining Reena, I had my own consulting firm assisting other non-for-profits. A few years ago, about 6-7 years ago, a friend of mine told me about this opportunity to join Reena. And I must say that prior to that, never heard of Reena myself. Most of the people who kind of involved with Reena have some connection to the individuals we support, and I did not. And I was happy to learn of this organization and see its values, its mission, and applied to join. And for once, it's wonderful not just to be an outsider and support non-for-profits, but work from inside and help to promote the rights and the independent lives of people with different abilities, diverse abilities.
Well, absolutely, and that's an amazing story. Now, in preparing for this interview today with you, I did some looking on your website and noticed that you have really a lot of interesting stuff. On the one hand, you have something called initiatives. Do you think that you could tell us a little bit more about those initiatives and what you have going on at the moment?
Of course. So initiatives are not, we kind of labeled it differently than just programs or services. And they're ongoing. Sometimes some of them are newer, some are more, older, that started a few years ago. But those initiatives include, just an example, the Dementia Strategy Project, where Reena, among others, are leading the way in research of people living with developmental disabilities and who are experiencing dementia. We recently issued a national guide to help families how to better support individuals with dementia and disabilities. Another element there that we're very proud of is the Greena, the sustainability initiatives at Reena. Mainly urban farming opportunities for our individuals, not just to grow their own vegetables, but also in collaboration with different community organizations to help them help their members be part of this urban farming. Also grow vegetables and leafy greens for different like catering and restaurants, and also support our own individuals. So sometimes it's not only just helping ourselves, but it's helping and working with the community. I must say that we have what we call a hydroponic farm, which is a container that we can grow leafy greens and vegetables year round. And, in Canada, sometimes it's not as easy to grow vegetables after September. Another initiative that we have is the mental health. We offer services, residential and social services support to individuals experiencing mental health challenges. And I should mention also our Intentional Community Consortium, ICC. And this is kind of an organization of different or organizations that build inclusive and supportive housing like Reena, but just encouraging others to do the same and helping them with advocacy. So this is just like a hint of the different initiatives at Reena.
Okay. And what about any other what about other some programs that you hold? Do you think that you could tell us a little bit about those as well?
Of course. The different programs that Reena started initially with the housing programs. So as you mentioned, Reena started over 50 years ago in 1973, and it was a search for different families within the Jewish community initially to how to better support and of their family members, people who experience living with developmental disabilities. Where would they be living as their parents age? So one big element of Reena's services is the housing. We, as you mentioned, have 32 group homes in the city of Toronto and Thornhill, but also we have two what we call intentional community residences. This is like a big building with different units that people rent from us, and they sign a lease agreement, and they get the support that they need within those homes, as opposed to previously institutions that were people were mandated or sent there. This is totally up to the family or the individuals if they want to join, if they're the right fit for that community. And it's within their community. It's not outside. It's right in the city. So they have access to employment opportunities, to transportation, to entertainment, to shopping. They live within their community with the support that they need. Some need more, some need less support. So residential supports are a big part of Reena. We also have what used to be called day programs. Now we call it community participation programs. These are enrichment opportunities in the summer or throughout the years for people to participate in like cooking and dance and yoga and clay and artwork. They just don't reside with Reena. In the afternoon they go back and they reside with their families. We also provide summer camps and March break camps for individuals. Other services include, as you mentioned before, respite opportunities for weekends, giving families a little bit of a break. And of course, adding to all this are some advocacy supports. These are not supports directly to families, but advocacy efforts that we do in front of all levels of government to help at the end to shape up policies and laws that will be helpful for the people we support and their families. Oh, I would like to mention as well, our supported employment programs. We have staff that are trained to help find work for the individuals we support. That could be depending on their ability. That would be work in, let's say, golf courses or coffee shops or retail stores or theaters. So we not only help our individuals to find work, we prepare them for the job interview. We coach them. They have a job coach. We also work directly with the employers themselves, how to facilitate, how to integrate a person with certain disabilities into the workplace, so they are working as a team member. And the results are phenomenal. Employers are very happy once those individuals are joining their workforce. And we have many success stories of that, of individuals who not only gain employment independence, but also progress in the way they interact with their surroundings, interact with the community. So it's therapeutic, but also helpful for their self-esteem as they find full-time work.
Absolutely, and that is absolutely amazing to hear as well. Now, there are several segues that you have given me just in that response alone that we can go in terms of questions. But the first one that I guess I have for you is in terms of employment. I also, you may have touched on this already, though. If you haven't, you always could. I noticed that you also have something called the employment advice column. Do you think that you could tell us a little bit more about that as well?
Sure, of course. Which reminds me, I should post our April column, which I neglected to do. Our employment expert, comes into contact with many families and individuals looking for work, and discusses the opportunity of having them work in different workplaces. So as a result, speaking with many of the potential employers. Once a month, and as a result of her work, she issues a column that gives practical advice and support for the individuals. On top of that, we sometimes have conversations with different job seekers. Reena support individuals, job seekers, with expert matters. So that could be someone in the electrical engineering field, or someone in marketing field. So just so they learn what does work look like from someone who's already working. But those specific columns are more practical advice, hands-on, from real experiences that were gained at Reena. And just share that information with others who are looking for to obtain work.
Of course. And now you mentioned April. Now, of course, you mentioned April. Now, in that regard, May, I'm sure, as you already know, is coming right around the corner. So apart from the column that you as you said that you were going to post for this coming April, or this April that's about to pass, I also noticed that you have some events coming up in May. One of which called Pushing the Boundaries. Now, what's that all about?
Oh, thank you for mentioning it. So, Pushing the Boundary is Boundaries is an event all about inclusion, and how do we change the conversation about people with diverse abilities to create a more inclusive and wholesome community for all. This is the second time this event is happening. The first one was way before, I think, 17 or 18, way before COVID. And this is the second time, and it will be held here in Toronto on May 5th and the 6th. Registration is still open. We are having over 60 speakers from 3 different countries, from the United States, from Canada, and Israel, speak about different presentations and ideas around inclusion and including people with disabilities in society. I should mention that this event is open to all, to families, to individuals, to professionals, to people who advocate for people with disabilities, and of all faiths. I know the tagline mentions in the Jewish community, but it's just because there are several agencies there that are rooted in Jewish values. But it is, I should stress it again and again, it's open to everyone. If you're coming on behalf of your organization, or you're coming just as a private person, we are open to all. We are looking forward to this opportunity, and we're very grateful for the different donors and sponsors who helped us put this together. Reena is just one part of the organizing committee, and we're just excited to bring this event again. So over 2 days in May 5th and the 6th.
Right. Well, that's absolutely amazing to know, and I'm sure that our listeners who are interested would definitely be interested and keep that in mind as well. Now, circling back to another one of the segues that you mentioned, or that you mentioned to me earlier in the interview, something along the lines of you seeing the clients of yours and people who have come into contact with the organization seeing success with sort of interacting with their environments and whatnot. Without naming any names, are there any other sort of success stories along those lines, or just success stories in general that you could tell us about, say, a person who came through Reena's doors and then where they ended up now?
Oh, absolutely. The element of the employment is just one side. Of course, there are many success stories of people who benefited from our services. increased their abilities. And for example, a young woman who's been working with us, and through the services that she received, she was able to move from almost nonverbal individuals to a verbal, communicative individual. Without, as you said, without naming names and exposing our identity. Many stories that I can share about people who come to our summer programs and summer camps and enjoy that camaraderie and community of their peers. Therefore, having like an increased self-esteem and interactivity with their own families. Stories are plenty, and many of the individuals we come across share those stories with us. Some of those I can share that Reena has helped bring people into our care, even when it was not a Reena client, and sometimes we brought people into our care even when they were not even in Canada, and just they were in distress and needed support, and getting them out of difficult situations, and just the can-do attitude of Reena staff, and ability to just help people just because it's the right thing to do. It speaks volume, and it has a direct impact on those specific individuals.
Absolutely, and all we can do is exactly, and all we can do is even people as well is just exactly as what you said, do the best that we can in some, in in the capacities that we're given. So, and in that regard, thank you for what you do. Now this next question might be a little bit loaded, so I do apologize for that. Though, in your opinion, what is the one thing you see happening repeatedly to individuals with disabilities that shouldn't be happening, and how do we collectively go about stopping it?
What is happening to them? I think a major element that is happening to individuals with disabilities is maybe I'll divide it into two. One is that they face challenges in housing opportunities more than anyone else. Once you become an adult over 18 and older, not always the supportive housing available in the market are easy to access. That's because low supply and high demand. So housing, supportive housing, it's a major obstacle for people with the developmental disabilities. Many organizations, and Reena alike, are doing their best with the support of all levels of government to build more units, to advocate for rules and regulations that will support building more homes of that nature that are deeply affordable and supportive housing. So that's one. Another thing, what people, and it's hard for me as as somebody who does not support directly the people with disabilities to see what they experience on a daily basis. But this is from what I hear feedback from them is that they would like to be, when they face with in front of the healthcare system, that they would like to be treated as equally as others, and to have the same time with their physician, and to be addressed the same as an able-bodied person. So challenges on a personal level with healthcare. That's why Reena feels that it's also our role to support them, and we have a health portfolio that not only helps to promote health services for those individuals, but also empower them to be better informed and to know what they should and could be asking for, so they're treated the same.
Of course. And now, in terms of being treated the same or whatnot, would you say that the process for becoming a member or volunteer of the organization is similar along those guidelines, in the sense of, if someone wanted to become a volunteer, or a member of Reena, would they be treated the same? What's the process like, or are there any restrictions to becoming a member or a volunteer?
Well, Reena is always looking for volunteers, and some volunteers are younger, some are older, some are with us for 6 months, some are with us for years. Anyone that would like to apply to be a volunteer and support individuals with disabilities have a contact person. We have a volunteer department, and if anyone wants to reach them, it's volunteering@reena.org. And the process that they go is a conversation, a little onboarding. We need to make sure that they know we give them training, provide them training, because it's not like any other organization, because you're working with individuals with different abilities. We are asking for the safety of our individuals, that any volunteer is vaccinated, that can provide COVID shot proofs. We're asking for at least 6 months commitment, and then you go through the process of being onboarded. Part of it is also receiving a vulnerable sector screening, so just making sure that there's no criminal comments or references in your past. And we are always looking for new volunteers, and wonderful stories of volunteers available on our website. If anyone ever wanted to see the wonderful impact of individuals on the lives of the people we support.
Fair enough. And in terms and other than your website, if our listeners are looking for more information apart from the website, how else can they find you? How else can they reach you?
First of all, they can come and attend some of our public events that are open to anyone. Like I've mentioned, Pushing the Boundaries, or we have a fundraising event on May 4th, which we called Striking for Reena. And other than that, I think our social media is quite active and progressive, and always you can reach us there. Most of our all of our social media handles are, I know it's confusing, but it's at Reena Foundation, and we're active on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, now also on Blue Sky, at Reena Foundation, and easy to access us. If anyone have a quick question, always they can email us at info@reena.org.
All right. Well, then that being said, Sharon, we've reached the end of all the questions that I have for you. So thank you so much again for being here with us today.
Amazing. Thank you very much for the opportunity to tell a little bit about Reena. And I'm happy to have done that. And I wish all your listeners just the best.
And I am sure that the feeling is mutual as well, sir. Now, that being said, we've reached the end of yet another amazing interview segment. You are listening to Community Partners, presented by Voices for Ability Radio. All abilities, all the time. I'm your host, Davy Au. Be safe, be kind. See y'all next time.